Cold Steel Mini Tuff Lite, cutting very thick corrugated cardboard. Good job, Cold Steel. Cold Steel Mini Tuff Lite cutting paper. Factory edge, people, after 2 weeks of use. Thoroughly impressive. Stand by for the full review of this fantastic little knife. Hi there, thanks for tuning in to another one of my knife reviews. Today we're talking about the Cold Steel Mini Tuff Lite. The Mini Tuff Lite is a micro EDC knife. It's a very overbuilt box cutter. Probably the best way I can describe it. The tasks it's going to do for you are the light EDC tasks, but it's not going to extend much further into the wilderness or into the kitchen or anything like that. It's a very small knife, the smaller of the two Tuff Lites. It's 4 finger widths wide, about 90 millimeters. This is it compared to a 91 millimeter Swiss Army knife. The whole body of the knife is about as long. The blade, however, the actual cutting length, is a whole lot shorter. Opens via the thumb hole, very generous sized thumb hole, and reveals a Wharncliffe Oz 8A sabre ground blade that comes extremely sharp from the factory. This knife costs $20. It will cost me $20 off of eBay. Come from America with an extra $10 postage. I ordered this knife because I wanted a small, inoffensive knife to use at work that is as safe as a knife can get, and this does have some safety features that I'll go into that really work in its favour. The handle is made of Grivery, which is a Cold Steel proprietary plastic mix, I believe, and it fits the hand very well. For such a small knife, to get a 4-fingered grip on it, and a solid 4-fingered grip, is particularly good. Most of these little knives you're pinch gripping or holding with your 3 fingers. However, Cold Steel have very wisely extended the choil into the actual blade itself, so they've taken a bit of blade away from me in order for you to grab what is left with decisiveness, and I think that was a great choice. But its purpose, as I said, is going to be box cutting. It's going to be your primary EDC stuff, which I think we all can admit that we use our EDC knives mostly for opening boxes. Perhaps a little bit of string cutting for whenever you have string or rope, and I've been using this as a marking knife because it's got a very sharp, very flat blade, and you can just press it into the wood with a little bit of force, and it leaves a nice mark for you to start a saw, if you start sawing with a tenon saw or something like that. So very cool. This knife is overbuilt in that it has lots of full-size features, such as the Cold Steel pocket clip, which does come, as they say, and this is my first Cold Steel, so I was curious if they had changed it or not, but As they say, it's a very stiff pocket clip that you really have to force over your pocket seam. But I guess once it is there, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's very stiff. And it also has the very big Spyderco-esque thumb hole opening. Obviously it's an oval, not a rounded hole, but very good opening system. Most of these knives of this class are nail nick or at least two-handed of some sort. And most impressively, it's got the full-fledged cold steel triad lock, which is the type of lockback that Cold Steel use, which involves the back of the blade tang and the lock being sandwiching between the two of them a third pillar, I guess the tri, so you've got three parts to the lockback rather than just this wedging against this. They both wedge against a pillar which is marked by this one here. And it's a very, very strong lock. You can really feel it snap in, and it's certainly not going anywhere. There is no play in this blade whatsoever. People have compared this to, well, they've said it's about the closest a folding knife can get to a fixed blade, so I still wouldn't be batoning with this or doing serious fixed blade work, but it is definitely not going anywhere. So that's one of the safety features. Another very cool safety feature is this this extended finger choil acts as a bit of a safety system for the knife. So say when you've pushed your triad lock in and you're closing the knife and you've a bit absent-mindedly go to shut your knife, there's no blade to finger contact. The finger choil just rests on your finger, and there is really, you'd have to be closing it like this, like with your finger all the way down here for the knife to even touch your finger. So it's a very safe knife to use as well. Very light, very safe, very inoffensive. The Wharncliffe blade, it does have a point this way, which is a reasonable point, but it's hard to stab and get stabbed with Wharncliffe blades, because unless you're sort of holding it a bit up, it's a very safe blade shape. Conversely though, I suppose because of the grip you can get on this, I suppose you could use it as somewhat of a fighting knife perhaps. I don't know, if you held it like this and you got a little claw there now, I suppose, but geez, the last thing I'd want in my hand in a fight is a knife, because I'm not confident enough. And I mean, I'd love to pretend it's like an action movie, but I'm sure it'd just involve two people falling over and one of them landing on a knife. Because that's how most fights I've ever seen pan out. Two blokes maybe punching once or twice and then falling over together. And the last thing you want in your hand is a knife. But anyway, I'm digressing here. But if you're a trained knife fighting expert, you may well be able to use this as somewhat of a defensive blade. But that's getting a bit too silly. The spine of this knife is really sharp. It's got a real sharp right angle, and it will strike a fire steel if you are thinking of taking this knife camping. But I'm not sure why you would take this knife camping, because it's too small, although it is a great slicer, too small to slice most of your foods. Like you have to attack an apple from about 3 different angles to get an apple in half. So not sure why you'd be taking this knife camping, but for fireplace carry, you can strike your fire steel against the back of it, which is cool, I guess. It's always a nice feature. But yeah, between that and the Oz 8A steel, the very light, small size of it, and the amazing edge that it comes with, I can't recommend highly enough this Cold Steel Mini Tuff Lite. And, thanks very much for watching my review. I'll see you later.